Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Miss Faye and this is my world. Today's topic is single mothers raising sons. Single mothers raising sons. Before we get started, I'd like to say welcome. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to all the new viewers, the new subscribers, and welcome to you who have been with me from the beginning. I really appreciate you. Now, to get us started, I did pull a short video. Let's watch this video, and then we have a letter. Gonna dive right into this letter and talk about this issue. Single mothers raising sons. Here we go.
I need y'all to quit saying that single mothers aren't accountable, because accountability looks like raising your child, even if that means you got to do it by yourself. That sometimes you cry yourself to sleep because you ain't got no motherfucking help. Nobody want to babysit this kid, so half the time you don't have a social life. You struggle because you got to pick between whether I get my nails done or whether my kid gets to go to football practice today. That's what accountability looks like. Somehow I'm gonna stretch this dollar I got and make it into eggs, milk, make it into covers. I don't know how. I got to work 48 hours in 2 days, but I'm gonna make it to a PTA meeting. I'm gonna call in, make sure his homework is done. That's what accountability looks like. So quit saying that single mothers are not being accountable for their actions. Accountability means you take care of your responsibility no matter how the they got here. What y'all need to do is start talking to these deadbeat ass niggas about accountability, because y'all seem to protect them far more than you protect single moms.
Okay, now, first of all, single mothers raising sons. You know, I'm a single mother and I raised sons. No man was around. My marriages didn't work out and I ended up raising them by myself. So what is the single mother to do when this kind of thing happens? You hear all kind of remarks. Women can't raise sons and it's no good and all of this. Well, ladies, you didn't choose to raise your son alone, but the man was no good. So, what's to do? You do your best to raise your children. You do your best to raise your sons. And I'm going to tell you something. I don't agree with you trying to find some man to be an influence over your son. I don't agree with that. Because unless you know that man really well and you trust him with your whole heart, and I mean you've known him for a while, would I trust a man telling my son anything, especially when your son is growing up? For instance, you get all of these mentoring camps popping up for young men. Be wary, ladies. Don't send your son to these camps at all. All kind of depravity happens in these camps, and your son will come back worse than if he never went. So keep your sons close. Let's dig into this letter and see what she says. Okay, here we go. I'm healing from the pain of the realization that my son is a narcissist. I have 2 other wonderful, well-adapted adult children. My son tries to gaslight me, often disparaging me. I refuse to be apologetic. I raised him right. He chose to be wrong. I did my best as a single parent, supposedly choosing to remain single after escaping an abusive, toxic marriage. I left the marriage before my son was even born, so he was not exposed to the behavior. But knowing how I raised him to respect women, I'm beginning to wonder if narcissism is a genetic trait. Okay, I'm not a physician, but his personality could definitely be generic. He could be acting just like his father. And who's to say? You say that he's a narcissist, but there's a difference between a true narcissist and a person that displays narcissistic behavior. All right? Okay, let's go on. I made a concerted effort to raise my children with high morals and good character. I continuously affirmed my son, ensuring positivity and high self-esteem. Unfortunately, it's morphed into high arrogance. He doesn't acknowledge my contribution to his success and the sacrifices which I chose to make. Well, you know what? I don't think my boys do either. I don't think that they recognize the sacrifices that you made until they have their own families. And especially with the boys. You know, many times it's the woman that's taking care of the children in the house and all of that. And the men come in, to play with the kids or whatever. And maybe they financially support the family, but the hands-on part is usually the mother. So, I don't know if at what point in time a man realizes the sacrifices that his mother has made for him. That's the point. I did not fully recognize these insidious traits until he got a girlfriend. Oh, okay. A wonderful young woman. I cannot fault her, except to witness the extent of which she dotes on my son and is a people pleaser. Why are you in their business? why, why are you all over her? I witnessed his controlling behavior and spoke to him about it on more than one occasion. As soon as he got into this relationship, he morphed into an unrecognizable character. I raised my sons to participate in household chores, cook, clean, and laundry, etc. And I took a small amount of housekeeping money while they were studying at undergraduate level. My son and his girlfriend lived with me for a short while. I asked him to leave and I changed the locks. This may seem trivial, but when I saw how he just abandoned the kitten I bought him, which before meeting this woman, he was so attentive and caring to the cat, I told him in front of her, the way you treat the kitten and me is a predictor of how ultimately you would treat your woman. How did you come to that conclusion? How, how? Okay, well, anyway, you told him to leave. This is your house. All right? No argument, no drama. I just requested he leave my house because him living in my space was disturbing my peace. I absolutely refused to be cleaning up after a grown man. All right, so you put him out. Okay. My son and I no longer speak. I can't tolerate seeing his controlling behavior to his girlfriend. Such a lovely woman. Prior to my son and I falling out, I was supposed to meet up with his girlfriend's parents. However, my son stopped it taking place, fearing that I would tell it like it really is. Well, what you got to tell her parents about your son for? I'm beginning to see where your son is getting his controlling behavior from. Okay? My son is what most young women dream of. Extremely handsome, intelligent, and successful. His girlfriend is beautiful too, but has a low self-esteem. The little I've gleaned about her is her father is a serial cheater and her mother carries the household because she has a highly paid career. Yeah, you all in this. All in it. I have come to the point to just mind my own business. When? When did you come to that point? You all in their business. And as much as I want to warn my son's woman that he's no good for her, I've stepped back to remain silent. You want to tell your son's girlfriend that your son is no good for her? Why? Mothers, we raise our sons. And, I feel you on this, particularly in this incident. You don't like the way that your son is treating his girlfriend. Is his girlfriend complaining about it? All right, if the girlfriend isn't complaining about it, then you have nothing to say. If the girlfriend hasn't come to you and asked your advice about it, then you really should stay out of it. All right, you can speak to your son about it, as you have. And did it do any good? So you say you've come to the conclusion to step back. The realization my son is a narcissist is a bitter blow for me. All right, if your son is a narcissist and you raised your son, then you created him, okay? Because narcissists are created from trauma. They're not born, they are created from trauma. Now, your son may just be portraying narcissistic traits. And that could be in his personality. Maybe that is in the genes. He got it from his dad. He's acting the way that his dad did. Now, that's possible. But for you to blatantly call him a narcissist, I just wanted to tell you on that one that narcissists are created. And if your son is a true narcissist, you created him. Okay? From trauma. I'm in therapy because I assume blame for how he has turned out. Oh, I was so distressed by it and knew if I didn't seek healing, it was going to manifest negativity in my life. You are manifesting negativity in your life by worrying about your son and his girlfriend and what's going on and keeping stuff stirred up. You are doing it. I was at the early stages of dating, but when I observed how my date sat on the fence about my son's behavior, I cut the relationship. So I don't know what, maybe your date didn't agree with you, apparently. Okay. Now, if any man I'm seeing isn't supportive of me, listen to this, there's no future. All right, so it's either your way or the highway. I did not ask him to get involved, but was aware of his reservations in plainly calling out my son's behavior, which is problematic. Yeah, he didn't agree with you. He had reservations, but you want to call out about your son. If your son is grown and you've already thrown him out of your home, well then get out of his business. Instead, he just flippantly brushed it off. Yeah, because he thought you were being ridiculous. With statements such as, they're only young, he'll learn. Clearly, we are not a match. Goodbye. You are portraying this negative behavior. It's coming out of you. Okay? My friend thinks I'm overreacting. Well, that's to say it mildly. Because your friends don't want to hurt your feelings, but they see how ridiculous you're being. There will be a cleansing in my social circle for any narcissistic empathizers. So you're branding people that they are narcissistic empathizers because you've made up in your mind to brand people as a narcissist. You're going to brand them as a narcissist. And anybody who doesn't support you in that, then you're going to cross them out of your life. Well, you're going to end up being pretty lonely if you do that. Okay? Because from what I'm seeing, is you the one that needs the healing. You. Okay? You probably raised your boys up with an iron hand, and I talked about it in one of the other videos. If you raise your boys with an iron hand, they're going to grow up with an iron hand. And you can't fault them for using that iron hand on other people because that's the way you raised them. Okay? So I hope that you understand that. Let's try to get to the end of your letter. All right? Oh, yeah, you wrote me a long one. But I think we all got the gist of what you're saying here. So let me see what your question was. And here you make a bold statement. You say, any woman refusing to challenge their own children about toxic traits is a contributor to the issue. Suppose you are the issue. What happens then? When you are the issue and not your children. The universe itself would teach my son, and he will learn the hard way. All right, your words are powerful. Remember, just what you said is going to come right back to you. The universe is going to teach you a lesson too. I've learned the art of detachment. I am working hard as to not allow seeds of bitterness take root. Really? I think your seeds have sprouted. And I reflect the sacrifices I made to put him through college for him to dishonor me in such a blatant way. Yeah, well, you know what? I did a video not too long ago about disrespectful grown ass children. And you need to look at that video because really, we all get it. We sacrifice everything for our children, everything. And then they grow up and tell us all kind of things that hurt our feelings. But still, they are your children and you have to let them be who they are. You have to trust that you raised them the best that you could under whatever circumstances you raised them under. You did the best that you could and you used the best knowledge that you had at the time when you raised them, because remember, we are growing all the time. And the way that I raised my first set of kids, which were 3 boys, I was in a different mindset than what I was by the time I had my second kid with my second, well, I say set, it was only one in a second marriage, but I had a different mindset then. So I raised him a little differently. You see, we can only use the tools that we have at the time. From your letter, you're trying to put a curse out there because remember, your words are spells. All right. And remember, when you throw a spell out there, that spell is going to come back to you. So remember, you only want to throw good spells out there so that only good will come back to you. For you to make these statements that he's going to learn the hard way, I think you need to look in the mirror. Look in the mirror at your own behavior, because your son is only reflecting your behavior back to you and you don't like it. People act like mirrors. A lot of people, your family members, your close acquaintances, they can act like mirrors to you. And you see something that they're doing and it's only a reflection of you and you don't like it. So now you're saying that the universe is going to teach him? Well, the universe is going to teach you. You say that you are healing, truly healing. Stay on that path. Stay on a healing path. Leave your son alone. You've already raised him, and whatever he's going to do, he's going to do. All right, he's already grown now, so the damage is already done. All right, but you can work on yourself. One thing that you need to realize is that we as parents, we are not always right. We want to be right, but like I said, we do the best we can with the information that we have at the time. Okay? But we need to grow in that. Don't be so stagnant thinking that you are right all the time and you're never wrong and it never changes. No. You could have been right here. And then with more understanding, you see that maybe you didn't have to be that hard. It wasn't necessary. Maybe it needed to be more softness. You see? I understand. I got the tone from your letter that you wanted to mold your boys into these successful adult men. And from your letter, it looks like you got that. You got that. But then you got the harshness that came with that. I hope you understand the message today. And I really hope that it helps someone. Single mothers, love your sons. And don't listen to all of these naysayers that say that you can't do it and you need a man around and it pushes you to chase a man to try to come in to help you raise your sons. Don't do that. That's the worst thing you can do. You raise your sons to the best of your ability and protect them. You can't trust every man with your son. And it's better that you don't even bring men into your home when you are raising your children, period. Stop looking for men and chasing men. You can make it on your own. All you got to do is believe in yourself and realize that you can make a life for yourself and your children. You don't have to have a man to do it. I hope you understand the message today, and I really hope that it helps someone. Now, those of you who might have a question that you'd like for me to answer, my email address is in the description. And if you're looking for today's affirmation, the link is also in the description. I want to thank you so much for supporting this channel. Thank you for your comments and your letters. And a very special thank you to those that leave a donation. I really appreciate all of you. I wish you all the very best. And I really hope to see you next time.